Welcome to the Gym Success Podcast. We're really glad you could join us today. Whether you're a gym owner, maybe an operator managing the day-to-day, a team manager, salesperson, maybe a gym entrepreneur starting something new, or a personal trainer. Welcome, I'm Bonnie, and
I'm George. And today, we're diving deep into a really insightful white paper. It's from Jim Thomas, the gym business expert. It's titled, "Sometimes the followers aren't following because the leaders aren't leading." And our goal today really is just to pull out the key knowledge, the actionable insights from this paper, give you a bit of a shortcut, so you can understand and maybe more importantly, apply these ideas right away in your own setting.
Yeah, and George, Jim Thomas, he doesn't really pull any punches, does he? Right from the start. He goes straight for it, this fading pulse he talks about in a gym. And it's not the equipment, he says, or the look of the place, but the actual energy of the people, like the heartbeat of the business. And when that fades, well, you start seeing things, right? Like team disengagement, motivation drops, sales slow down, staff leave.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is how he immediately points to the cause. Instead of, blaming the team or the market, Jim Thomas gives this really honest, maybe sometimes tough truth, the issue. Often it lies with the leadership itself.
Okay.
Which kind of brings us to the core question we need to unpack here.
Yeah.
What does he actually mean when he says sometimes the followers aren't following because the leaders aren't leading?
So if that gym pulse is fading and he's pointing fingers at leadership,
Yep.
what is leadership then, according to him? He's super clear. It's not just a title, right? Not just owner or manager on a door.
Exactly. Not just the title.
What really stood out to me was his definition. He talks about leadership as behavior, the visible stuff, the daily example you set. It's about how you actually show up.
It's what you do.
Yeah.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, think about your own gym. Jim Thomas says, culture does not create itself. It reflects the leader. That's pretty direct.
Yeah.
So whether you've got a big health club, a small boutique studio, or maybe just a team of trainers, the whole vibe, the atmosphere, it's really a direct reflection of the leadership. High-performing teams, they thrive when leadership is clear, consistent, courageous even. But poorly performing teams, they often just drift because of inconsistency, maybe fear, or sometimes the leader just isn't really there.
Right, that absence. And that sets us up perfectly to recognize some of those red flags he talks about. Jim Thomas doesn't just vaguely say leadership is missing. He gives us 7 specific signs that might be dragging your gym down. If your team feels flat or turnover's high or it just feels like nobody really cares, these are the alarm bells.
Yeah, the first one he points out is it sounds simple, but it's huge. You're absent or inconsistent. Just imagine a gym where the owner is hardly ever around, or maybe they pop in, but it's totally unpredictable. What happens? The team, well, they eventually stop looking for direction. It leads to confusion, right? It's like, what does the boss want today? And eventually they just detach. They stop looking for that lead.
Yeah, they check out. And building right on that, his second point, you only appear when there's a problem. Oof. This one hits home for a lot of people, doesn't it?
It really can.
If your team only ever sees you or associates you showing up with stress, like something's gone wrong, sales are down, equipment's broken, someone complained.
Right. Crisis mode only.
Then leadership itself becomes a source of anxiety. Not support, not guidance, and that just destroys trust.
He absolutely destroys it. Then he moves to something really foundational. There's no clear vision. People need to feel like they're part of something bigger, more than just checking members in or cleaning treadmills. If there's no mission, no real rallying cry, no compelling why for the gym, well, apathy just creeps in. How can they be invested without that North Star?
They can't, really. And this next one, wow, it really lands hard. You don't hold yourself accountable. What Jim Thomas is saying here is, look, if you're missing your own deadlines, if you're not following through, if your own integrity isn't visible in your actions, how can you possibly expect your team to keep high standards?
You can't. It's that classic do as I say, not as I do, which never works long term.
Like telling clients to show up on time when you're always late yourself.
Exactly. Okay, number 5. You fail to develop or recognize talent. Staff, they disengage. Or worse, like you said, they leave when they feel invisible, unappreciated. And this isn't just like a quick, good job. It's about investing in their growth, giving them opportunities, actually seeing what they contribute, developing and recognizing people. It's crucial for loyalty, for retention.
Absolutely crucial. Now, the 6th point, you lead with fear or control. This can be a tough one for leaders to admit, maybe. It can seem tempting sometimes, right? To micromanage or snap or maybe manipulate a bit to get short-term results when things feel urgent. But what's the real cost Jim Thomas implies here? What's the damage?
Yeah, the paper makes it pretty clear. You might get compliance, sure, for a little while. People might do what you say because they're scared. But the long-term cost, it's huge. Burnout, super high turnover, and eventually even your members start feeling that negative vibe. It just kills innovation, kills any genuine loyalty. And then the seventh sign, maybe the most fundamental, you've lost your passion. If the leader's just, checked out, burned out, going through the motions, the team, they're going to reflect that exact same lifelessness. Your energy, or the lack of it, is totally contagious.
It really is. Okay, so listening to those 7 signs, it could feel a bit overwhelming, couldn't it? Like, oh no, is that my gym? But Jim Thomas doesn't just leave us there in the problem zone. He pivots. He starts showing us what strong, effective gym leadership actually looks like, moving from diagnosis to, well, prescription. What's the key shift he makes there?
Well, he shifts the focus completely. It's not about dwelling on the problems, but showcasing the solutions, what good looks like. And it's not, crucially, about the leader doing everything themselves. That's a common trap, right? Especially for gym owners.
Yeah, trying to wear all the hats.
Exactly. Instead, it's about creating a culture, an environment where everyone wants to do their best work, where they want to contribute.
Okay, so how does a leader actually do that? How do they build that kind of environment? He gives 5 key behaviors, right? First one, communicate often and clearly. And this isn't just like sending out a memo.
No, not at all.
It's consistent stuff. Weekly team huddles, maybe daily check-ins before a shift starts, talking about new members or goals for the day, maybe even just having an open door policy where people feel they can actually talk to you. Clean expectations are key.
Absolutely. Clarity and consistency. The second behavior follows right from that. Model the behavior they expect. The best leaders, they aren't above the basics. They show up on time, maybe even early. They help keep the gym clean. They're out there greeting members by name. They bring that positive energy consistently every single day. They live the standards.
They walk the talk. Okay, third, cast a vision for the future. So it's not just managing the now. Strong leaders, they paint this clear picture. Where's the gym going? What does success actually look like for us? And maybe most importantly, how does each person on the team fit into that? How do they contribute to the big picture? It gives purpose, right? Beyond just the daily tasks.
And that vision piece is so critical.
Yeah.
Fourth, and this is a big distinction, coach more than they command. They aren't just barking orders telling people what to do. They're guiding, mentoring. They're actively trying to build up leaders within their own team, seeing potential, not just employees.
That's a huge mindset shift. And the fifth one, a real mark of strength. Celebrate wins and learn from losses. So they're tracking performance, they notice when things go well, and they acknowledge it. Publicly, maybe, but also when things don't go well, when there are challenges, they face them head on. But without the blame game.
Right. No blame. It's about fostering growth, learning from what happened, using truth and trust. So every experience, good or bad, becomes a lesson.
Okay.
So it really drives home that leadership isn't like a static thing.
Yeah.
Not a role you just have. It's active. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally about building others up, creating that environment where people can really thrive.
So we've got the problems, the signs leadership is missing, we've got the behaviors of strong leaders. But what does this all actually mean for the business, for the gym itself? Jim Thomas talks about this big ripple effect. When owners really step up their leadership, what happens? What are the transformations he sees?
Oh, the changes are profound. They really touch every part of the business. First off, pretty obviously maybe, employee retention improves. Staff stick around where they feel valued, where they feel challenged in a good way, where they feel supported. Happy, engaged staff. They just don't leave as often.
Makes sense. Which then, you'd think, leads to sales increase.
Right.
An inspired team, they sell differently. They sell with real belief, real confidence, because they actually believe in the gym's mission. They trust the leadership.
Exactly. And prospective members, they feel that authenticity. It's palpable.
Yeah.
And all this works together to strengthen the culture of the gym. Big time. Trust starts to replace fear. Motivation replaces just, obligation. When your team feels valued, when they see clear leadership, they become self-starters. They actively contribute to making the place better.
And that means innovation emerges too, is that right?
Yes. Empowered teams, they take ownership. They feel safe suggesting things. They actively look for solutions. Maybe it's a trainer who suggests a new class type because they see a need. Or maybe your front desk manager comes up with a smoother check-in process because they feel empowered to fix things. Their ideas are valued.
And this all rolls up to the ultimate goal, doesn't it? Members feel the difference, a motivated, engaged team. They just provide a better experience, period. And that leads to happier members, more loyalty, and crucially, more referrals, word of mouth.
It's a completely holistic improvement. It touches everyone who walks in the door, and yeah, it directly impacts that bottom line. And these aren't just vague ideas. Jim Thomas gives really clear, actionable steps, things leaders can do if they feel maybe they've gotten disconnected or their leadership needs a bit of a reset.
Okay, let's hear them. What's step one?
Step one is fundamental, maybe deceptively simple. Show up fully. And that means being present, not just physically in the building, but mentally present too. Get out of the office, walk the floor, greet your team by name, be visible, be involved. It sends a huge message.
Just being there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Then, he says, reset the vision. If it's gotten fuzzy or maybe it was never clear, clarify the mission. Define what success actually looks like for your gym. Put that purpose down in writing. And then this is key, repeat it often. Make it part of the conversation. Weave it into meetings.
Got it. Vision clarity. His third step. Hold weekly team meetings. He really emphasizes consistency here, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Consistency is vital. Use these meetings, these huddles, to share the wins, review the goals, coach performance, but keep them engaging, keep them positive, not just a boring rundown of tasks. It's about connection, alignment.
Building that team connection. Okay, fourth step.
Empower others to lead. This is about delegation, but more than just tasks. Delegate ownership. Maybe assign responsibility for small areas, like let a trainer take the lead on the new member orientation, or have the front desk team own the member feedback process. Leadership skills grow when people are given real responsibility.
Yeah, letting go a little bit. And fifth.
Seek feedback and act on it. This takes humility for sure. You need to actually ask your team, what's working, what's not working, what could we do better? And then listen. Really listen without getting defensive. Let your staff help shape the gym's future. Their perspective is incredibly valuable.
That's huge. Listening and acting. And the final step.
Finally, he reminds leaders, invest in your own growth. Nobody have all the answers. Read leadership books. Go to industry events, network, maybe even hire a coach. Your own development as a leader directly fuels your team's development and the potential of your gym. It never stops.
It's an ongoing journey. Wow. Okay, so we've really dug deep into Jim Thomas's white paper today, thinking about what happens when followers aren't following because leaders aren't leading, specifically in the gym world. The insights are, they're really compelling. It feels like a clear roadmap for making real changes.
It really does. And Jim Thomas leaves us with this powerful final thought. He says, the gym follows the owner's energy. He really emphasizes if your gym feels flat, uninspired, maybe directionless, it might not be your marketing, it might not even be just your staff, it could very well be your leadership, your energy.
Which is the important part. The good news is you can absolutely change that. He's reassuring on this point. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need all the answers right now, but you do need to show up with consistency, with that clear vision we talked about, with humility, and definitely with passion.
So it leaves us all with a question, doesn't it, for you listening? How will you choose to reflect that energy in your gym this week? Because when the leader leads consistently, the followers follow. When the leader inspires, the team rises. And when the leader truly believes, the whole business can transform. What's just one step, maybe even a small one, you can take today to reignite that pulse?
And if you're looking for help with building systems, developing your team, improving your facility, or maybe turning around your gym business, Jim Thomas is someone who can potentially help. You can contact him directly. His number is 214-629-7223.
Or you can email him at jthomas@fmconsulting.net.
JRHOMAS@fmconsulting.net.
Definitely worth reaching out if this resonated with you.